Hi guys, I wanted to do a little video tonight. It's about 10 o'clock at night here on Monday. Um, Maybe shine the light on a few things that go on with deer supplements that might be some misconceptions that people have. Um, at no point are we ever trying to badmouth the way people do things, badmouth another company, um, or say anything bad about another company, anything like that. Whatever they believe in is what they believe in. Um, but we're also not scared to share some facts with people and some real world experience and things that we've learned and knowledge from people that have taught us. Um, the homemade mixes for mineral. The homemade mixes for mineral are extremely popular. It seems like you're getting a whole bunch of mineral for hardly any money, and it's the same thing all the time. You know, a 50-pound bag of this, 50-pound bag of this, some a lot dried molasses. The deer love it, and you'll hear that with almost every mineral company. Homemade mix, home brew, all that stuff. The deer love it. Well, it's not that hard in this day and age. We've pretty much figured out deer love salt, deer love molasses, deer love anything that's, smells like apples or berries or anything like that. So getting deer to eat stuff isn't necessarily something that's new or something that's hard to accomplish. Um, Actual usable, absorbable nutrition out of that homemade mix is minimal. The reason for that is there's a reason why the ingredients are cheap. There's a reason why you can just run down to your local farm store and pick something up like that. If you want a true high performing, real world utilization, absorption, going to make an impact on your herd, look for a professionally formulated and manufactured mineral product. Um, there's some ingredients that we use in our next level mineral that can only be handled by a certain facility, and that's because of the potency of it. Um, you can't just run down to your farm store and get something that's going to measure up to what we're doing with the use of vasodilators. We also use Diamond V yeast, probiotics in all of our products, along with another digestive boosting ingredient called Yucca shitagera. And we're comfortable telling people, the ingredients that we use. I'm not worried about somebody going out and copying exactly what we're doing or anything like that. If they can do it, great. Good luck matching our prices. Um, we don't build our products and set our prices to gouge the crap out of the working man. There's a lot of products out there that do. We don't ask any more than what we need to cover our expenses. And it's tough. It's tough to get product into stores. It's tough to ship things, especially products that weigh a significant amount. Like mineral or feed or blocks. It's expensive to ship that stuff. Scott and I are constantly trying to find ways to more affordably get our products out to our customers and the people that are interested and want to try our products. Um, but anyways, back to the ingredients. Um, the Diamond V yeast probiotic is nothing new that's on the market. There's only so many companies that are actually willing to include that. It's pretty basic these days now that you'll get a generic mix of mineral that's generally the cheapest, lowest in bioavailability mineral mix that's out there. Anything that's sporting some fairly decent calcium and phosphorus numbers. Their salt's not outrageous. Um, and we're not one of those companies either that's going to tout, oh, hardly any salt. does need salt for lactation. So we put, enough in there to help the does out. They need twice as much as the bucks do. Because it's not all about antlers. This is total herd health, and if you have healthier does, means you're going to have healthier fawns, which means in the future you're going to have bigger, healthier bucks. But back to the ingredients, I get off on tangents. We're comfortable telling people, the special ingredients that we use, and we don't use dical. We only use monocalcium phosphate. The reason for that is bioavailability, which means we don't have to have such a high percentage on our guaranteed analysis, because the actual utilization and absorption will be higher using higher quality ingredients than products, that are using cheap ingredients, and they can pump up their numbers to make them look great, when that's not necessarily the actual utilization and absorption that's happening within that animal. The guaranteed analysis does not tell the whole story. Generally, your ingredient list is going to tell most of the story, and if you contact a company and talk to them about it, they should not have any problem telling you exactly what is in the products that you're buying. We don't. We have no problem, kind of explaining our thought process behind some things. And, with the yucca, there might be some products. Yucca's starting to become more popular. It's huge in the dairy cattle world. It really helps with lactation and boosting feed efficiency and digestive function, things like that, on top of what the probiotics do with the yeast, and the vasodilators. The vasodilators improve blood flow. They help, really boost immune system, and that's your heat stress that a lot of people talk about in their products. Their heat guard, or their, whatever cute saying that they want to call it. It's vasodilators. What that does is speeds up blood flow, lowers core body temperature, so that the animal's not near as stressed out when it gets hot. There's other benefits, like I said, to boost blood flow, and when your bucks are growing their antlers, that improved blood flow is going to show in the amount of antlers that they can grow in that short amount of time. The Yucca shitagira, or Shadagra, depending on who you talk to, a lot of people think that no matter what, if somebody has a certain ingredient, they just kind of take for granted that, it's in there, and that's not necessarily the case either. There's levels that are called sarsapinin levels when it comes to the Yucca shitagira. That's basically the potency or purity of how good the yucca is, how much of the yucca is actually in the ingredient that you're using. And then, just like everything else, there are some generic and very cheap ingredients that are out on the market that you can get, that yes, you'll have Yucca shitagira in your product, but the sarsapinin levels will be so low that the actual effects will be minimal, if anything at all. And that goes for the vasodilators, that goes for probiotics, that goes for prebiotics. Just because somebody has a certain ingredient in their mix or in their formula doesn't necessarily mean they have an effective amount or rate in their mix. We do. We base everything that we have off a certain category size animal to make sure that we're actually going to get performance out of our products. We don't cut any corners. We don't say, well, it's cheaper if we do this, but people are still going to think it's in there. No, we don't. We're not into the gimmicks and the smoke shows and stuff like that. We want performance. That's our number one goal. That's our number one standard, is that our products will perform for your deer. Another thing that I have a hard time with is a lot of people will basically offer a bag of corn that says it has some special ingredients in it, that says, this is a feed. Corn is not much of a feed nutrient-wise for your deer. Corn cannot provide hardly the minimum of what the bacteria need to function at an efficient rate, let alone push that deer's genetic potential and give them optimum nutrients for what that deer needs to absolutely thrive. The only way that you can do that is with a performance pellet. And the reason for that is the goal behind having a pellet, and this comes down to where you're having your feed manufactured. The mixing process and the process in which that pellet is being manufactured, that in each and every pellet you have the macro and micronutrients, you have the vitamins, you have your proteins, you have in ours the vasodilators, the probiotics, the Yucca Shitagera, all that is in every single pellet. And any time that you're mixing pellets with your grains, with corn or anything like that, those kernels of corn are taking up room in that stomach that should be being taken up by that performance pellet that's got all the great ingredients in it. Corn is great for, some fat content and mainly energy, but that's not going to grow big antlers. That's not going to help lactation. It's really not going to help your fawns push their body mass up to the point where winter's not as big a deal for them. Corn is a great attractant, but if you're trying to grow big, healthy deer, corn is not the answer. And in some situations, people that do it periodically or only certain times of the year, you can really harm your deer herd by dumping out so much corn at one time. Deer need to gradually get that energy level and the starch and things like that. Corn actually is not the best for the pH balance that's in the digestive system. And if they eat too much of it, it can cause something called acidosis and can actually kill your deer. But in each and every one of our products, in our mineral, in our feed, in our blocks, we have all high quality ingredients. We have great fat levels, which is your energy, great protein levels. Your nutrients are going to be bioavailable. We do have chelated minerals, which if you don't in this day and age, then you're really behind the times. Protein levels are great. Like I said, we have several sources of protein. We're not just one or two sources of protein. We actually have 4 sources of protein in our winter mix, 5 in our summer mix, and that's to feed all the bacteria in the room, and not just some of them. We want to give deer the most complete, comprehensive feed that they can get without emptying your wallet. Scott and I are not in this to get rich. We're not worried about being the next big thing. We're not worried about having a big field staff and pro staff and, rubbing shoulders and elbows with all the cool kids. We're not worried about that. We want people to be able to buy our products and rest assured that when they open that bag and pour it into their feeder, or pour that mineral on the ground, or put that block in front of a camera, that it's not only going to bring deer in front of that camera, but it's going to give them something good, and they will be better for it. And no part of that is a gimmick. We don't put any artificial smells or flavors into our feed or our mineral. We don't have to make something smell really good to get them to eat it. We've always based everything we do off of deer don't need help smelling stuff. And you're going to put things generally in a pretty strategic spot. You can't just pour something in the middle of nowhere and say, well, it smells like berries, so it's going to draw a deer from 3 miles over. And I mean, we don't get wrapped up in those gimmicks. We want real world performance. That's our goal. And we want you to know that when you purchase one of our products, that when you pour it out, it's going to work. Nothing happens overnight. There's nothing on the market that's gonna jump bucks in a 2 or 3 month period, 20, 30 inches. It's quit believing that. We'll compare our science with anybody. Our nutritionist is very accomplished. I've said it before, on Whitetail Legacy podcast and probably some other videos. Our nutritionist, he's got a PhD from Texas Tech. He's been through the Texas A&M Animal Science program. He has a master's in ruminant nutrition from Colorado State. He has a master's in biochemistry from Colorado State. And the thing about that is he not only fully understands exactly how that system works, that digestive system works in deer, he knows exactly what to put into it by having that master's in biochemistry to get it to perform at the absolute highest level. So that's huge. And he actually taught at TCU for a while for range management, things like that too, for people that grow their herds and whatnot. So anyways, turned into a little bit longer video than what I was thinking, but if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to email us, info@nextleveldeer.com, and that's nxtleveldeer.com. Hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook. Scott and I, both our numbers are on the website. And yeah, shoot us any questions you got. And we love talking about deer. And we're not saying we know everything there is to know about it, but we'll share with what we've been taught, what we've learned, and hopefully help you do what's best for your herd and take them to the next level.